Welcome, champions! We're so glad you're here for today's lesson. If you've ever looked at an English sentence and just completely wondered which tiny little word you're supposed to use to connect your ideas, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to master something that might seem kind of tricky at first, but honestly, I promise you, it's incredibly easy once you know the secret. We're tackling English prepositions, and we're going to do it by following a super exciting journey. So, think about this for a second. If you traveled on a plane, how would you describe exactly when and where it lands? It sounds like a pretty simple question, right? But to answer it perfectly in English, you need these tiny, super powerful words called prepositions. They literally hold the secret to giving clear, accurate details. They tell your listener exactly when an event happens and exactly where it takes place. All right, let's dive right in. Today's mission covers Unit 1, Period 7. We're going to learn these rules naturally by following a story. We'll be tracking Rami, Hadil, and Nidal as they travel. By simply paying attention to their journey, these grammar rules are going to become second nature to you. Seriously, you won't even have to memorize them. You'll just understand them. Part 1. Prepositions of time. Okay, let's look at our three main tools here. We've got in, on, and at. We use in for those big blocks of time, like months. Next, we have on for specific dates or days of the week. And finally, we have at for exact clock time. You can kind of think of at like a laser pointer. It points to a highly specific time on the clock, like 9:30. So remember, big time gets in, days get on, and exact clock time gets at. Let's see how this actually works in our story. The sentence is, Rami's family invited Hadil and Nidal to visit them in July. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that July is a month. It's a broad, wide-open period of time. Because it's a month, we confidently use the preposition in. It's not on July, it's definitely not at July, it's in July. See? Super easy.
Now, let's see how this builds when we want to talk about how long something takes. These are prepositions of duration. We use for to talk about the total length of time, the whole duration. We use from and to when we want to give the exact starting point and the ending point of a time range. And we use during to say that something happened while another event, like a long flight, was going on.
This really brilliantly illustrates our timeline. Let's read the example. They are staying for 4 weeks, from July 10th to August 7th. Notice how we used for right before 4 weeks to show the total length of the vacation. Then we used from and to create these really clear boundaries, starting on July 10th and ending on August 7th. It maps out their entire vacation perfectly.
Okay, let's combine these rules to describe the actual travel day. They watched some films during the very long flight, arriving at 9:30 on the 11th. Did you catch what happened there? We used during to show that watching the movie happened entirely inside the event of the flight. Then boom, we hit our specific clock time at 9:30. And that's immediately followed by our specific date, on the 11th. Everything just fits together like a giant puzzle. But wait, let's pause right here for a second, because this is a really common spot where students get tripped up. Look at the left side, at 9:30. That's time. Now look at the right side, at Gaza Airport. That is a place. The word at is honestly like a grammatical chameleon. It can point to an exact time on the clock, sure, but it can also point to an exact spot on a map.
Which brings us to Part 2, Prepositions of Place.
Now that we know exactly when Hadil and Nidal are traveling, we need to focus on where things are happening as they arrive. We use on for surfaces, but also, and this is important, for large public transport like a plane. We use next to when two things are right beside each other. We use our chameleon word at for a highly specific physical point, like the back of the plane. And we use near when something is just close by in the general area.
So, imagine the scene with me. Hadil and Nidal are on the plane to Palestine, sitting next to each other at the back. We use on the plane because it's a large vehicle you board. They're sitting side by side, so they're next to each other. And to pinpoint exactly where their seats are, we say they are at the back. These tiny words paint such a clear visual picture in our mind.
We've got 3 more context words for places. In is used when something's enclosed inside something else. At is used for the exact destination location, like the airport itself. And outside refers to the exterior of a structure or a building. The moment of arrival. Rami's family are waiting at Gaza Airport, and the plane is landing outside the building. Notice how we say at Gaza Airport, because it's the highly specific meeting point on the map. and the plane physically touches down on the runway, which is outside the terminal building. And just like that, you've successfully tracked their entire journey using prepositions.
Pop quiz time.
All right, you've learned the rules. Let's see how much you've absorbed. I'm challenging you directly right now, so get ready to shout out the answer. Fill in the blank. Rami's family invited them to visit blank July. Look really closely at the word July. Think about the rule we talked about. What kind of time is July? I'll give you a few seconds to say the answer out loud.
You got it. The answer is in. We use in because July is a month. It's a broad block of time. If you got that right, give yourself a massive pat on the back. You are absolutely mastering this. Let's keep this momentum going. Question 2. Fill in the blank. Rami and his family are waiting for them blank Gaza Airport. Think about what kind of place Gaza Airport is. Is it an enclosure, a surface, or a highly specific point on a map? Take a guess.
The answer is at. Fantastic job. We use at because Gaza Airport is a specific pinpoint location. It's the exact spot they're waiting. Excellent work tracking down that chameleon preposition.
So to wrap this all up, here is your golden rule master checklist. Use in for months, on for dates and days, and at for exact times and places. If you can just remember this simple checklist, you will almost never make a mistake with these tricky little words again.
Champions, here is my final challenge for you before we go. Where will you travel next, and exactly when will you arrive? Try writing down a sentence about your own dream trip using the prepositions in, on, or at. Apply what you've learned today, and just watch your English sound more natural and precise than ever before. Keep practicing, keep learning, and I'll see you in our next lesson.